Hello everyone and welcome to the 2014 Triad Pro-Am Summer League. Welcome back. This is day 2. We are about to tip off here on court number 2 between Blue Chip Basketball Academy, who will be the home team in this game, and Peters Company Wealth Management, who will be the away team in this game. So Blue Chip Basketball Academy wearing the home whites, and Peters Company Wealth Management wearing the away jerseys, the dark blue. So we have a couple of roster modifications for tonight's game, which, as you know, if you've watched some of the Summer League games this year, that is a common occurrence. And one of those roster changes is number 49 for Blue Chip Basketball Academy, and the home whites about to tip. That is Taekwon Bidding, who will be playing with Blue Chip during this game. And he's jumping off against Keith Jackson, and Bidding wins the tip. We are underway. So once again, you're watching the 2014 Triad Pro-Am Summer League from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports Network. Early tip in there by Taekwon Bidding after the missed shot by Seth Courts. So we're here in the first minute, running clock until the last 2 minutes, and then they'll stop the clock for fouls and things like that. And there are timeouts, but for the most part, you're looking at a running clock. So sort of like AAU summer travel basketball, Summer League is very similar in the sense of how they manage it, with the exception that normally Pro-Am teams don't have coaches. Not always, but sometimes. Here's Seth Courts in the open court, and he is fouled, and that will probably be a throw-in under the basket. I think he's trying to say he was getting a shot off, but I don't believe the refs are going to go with that. They're going to pass it in. Seth Courts, currently a player at Carnegie Mellon, and he does a little misdirection, fakes one way, grabs the inbound pass, and scores. And that puts his team up 4-0 early with just over a minute gone in the game. Inside to Evtimov. Now Evtimov kicks it out to Jackson Kent. Kent with a little fadeaway jumper that doesn't go. Battle inside, and no good. They're going to call a walk on Keith Jackson, and that will give the ball back to Blue Chip Basketball Academy. So the Triad Pro-Am Summer League takes place, at least this year, it's taking place all through July on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and this is the second day, so Thursday, and we will be rebroadcasting most of these games. And the last week of the event will be, I think the last Thursday of July, we'll have the playoffs, and then the Friday of that week, which, if I'm not mistaken, is actually August 1st, we'll have the championship. So here's Jackson Kent in the open court, spins, looks like he wanted to post up, but finds Evtimov. Now Evtimov with the trademark bullet pass. Those who are familiar with Vasil Evtimov during his days playing at UNC and his extensive experience playing overseas know that he is known as a big man that can throw those no-look bullet passes. Unfortunately, that time, the receiver just wasn't ready for it. And right now, Evtimov's team, Peters Company Wealth Management, trails by 2 early in this one. Outside shot, no good. And Evtimov grabbed the rebound, but it looks like the ref is pointing to something on the floor, and there is some liquid or condensation on the floor, and they are trying to get that cleaned up. So I believe after that, we will still see Peters Company Wealth Management with the ball. And Jackson Kent here under the basket, getting ready to inbound. Deep outside shot by Brent Peterson. That shot is short. Rebound by Jackson Kent. Thought about putting up another 3. Finds Zach Jenkins, and Jenkins loses the ball, but I believe they're going to call Seth Courts with a block. The ball's going to stay with Peters Company. Not a ton of scoring here in the first 4 minutes. We had that brief stoppage there when they were cleaning up some of the courts, so that also clock continued to run. Deep outside shot by Jackson Kent, and that shot is good. And Kent, known as a sharpshooting 6'7" player who is a rising sophomore at James Madison University. Inside to Taekwon Bidding. And now outside. To Courts and then Bidding cleaning it up. Here's Zach Jenkins. Stops with a little mid-range shot, and that a little too strong. And we're going the other way. Rebound by Jackson. Up court to Evtimov, and he shuffles it over to Kent. Now back to Jenkins. Kent in the corner. No good. Inside, and rebound and put back by Vasil Evtimov. Evtimov with a nice throw-ups up court. Nice vision there shown by Evtimov, and that gives him an assist, and it puts his team up 9-6. Just under 15 gone. Here's Kevin Weckworth driving. Ball slapped away from behind. Brent Peters comes up with it. Feeds it up to Jackson. Now here's Jackson with the shot, and that was no good. Bidding up and good. Nice hook shot by Taekwon Bidding. I know that there are several colleges looking to try to secure him since he hasn't decided where he's going to go, at least not as of today. He hasn't told anyone where he's planning on going for his next college destination. There's Weckworth in transition up, and that's going to be a charge on Kevin Weckworth. Once again, you're watching the 2014 Triad Pro-Am Summer League. Day 2 action here. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports Network. And you can watch the replays of this game on netcastsports.com. And I'm not sure, but I believe we'll have most of these games on our YouTube channel as well. So you can go to YouTube and just search for Netcast Sports. You can also follow us on Twitter at Netcast Sports. So we've had a couple of new players come in here. We'll try to work those guys into the roster. Number 53, Jamal McNeil, one of the newer players that came in here. Feed up to number 61, Miles Overton, who also just came in. And I also see that Madison Jones, number 10 for Blue Chip, has come into the game. Madison Jones is familiar to Wake Forest fans. There's Vasil Evtimov with a nice little ability to spin away from the defender and put the ball up quickly and scores again, and that keeps his team in the lead here, 11-10. Richard Daniels inside of Taekwon Bidding. Daniels stops, shoots from outside. Shot's no good. Bidding able to get his hands on it, but Miles Overton actually comes up with it. And now here's Evtimov running the break. Big man Vasil Evtimov showing agility, and unfortunately that's an empty trip and we're going the other way. And Miles Overton coming in quickly and making an impact. Miles Overton has gotten involved in 2 or 3 plays here right away as soon as he's come in off the bench. And his team leads by 1, and now here he is again on the end of that pass behind the back to Richard Daniels and score. So Miles Overton with about 4 points and an assist after coming into the game, 4 or 6 points, somewhere in that area, and his team now up by 3. So Miles Overton having a nice little opening run here in day 2. Richard Daniels at the line, number 29 for Blue Chip Basketball Academy. I see several college coaches here and watching this game, and I believe that is probably because of Taekwon Bidding. A couple of coaches are hoping they can maybe land Taekwon since he's looking for a spot to transfer to or right open. Here's Madison Jones, and he gets to the rim and is fouled, so that may send Madison Jones to the line. I believe that was in the act of shooting. 11 minutes left to play. Running clock, and Jones, so even with the running clock, probably doesn't need to be said, but even a free throw won't stop the clock until after 2 minutes. So if you're not familiar with Summer League, it can be a little disconcerting to see the clock continuing to run, but that's normal. That's what's expected. The games have to be managed within a certain amount of time, and it's really more about just getting play, open run and play. See number 50, Cortez Duncan, who's going to be playing at High Point this year, has come in. Cortez, also known as Trey Duncan. Over the top to Jackson Kent. Battle inside, and Miles Overton got his hand on it, and it looks like he was able to knock it off a defender. Miles Overton has come in and made an impact right away, and now here's Trey Duncan, pushes it up. Miles Overton with a nice outside shot there. So Miles Overton is suddenly becoming an engine for the Blue Chip Basketball Academy. So right now, Blue Chip starting to build up a lead. 22-11. They've doubled up on Peters Company. And part of that may be because Evtimov is on the bench and they don't have a strong inside presence without Evtimov. Overton with a little heat check, I think, just puts that up, and no good. He's still looked really good. And now Jackson Kent with a three. That'll help, and that will cut the lead to 6. We've got a foul on the floor, and I don't believe that will be in the act of shooting, but we'll see. Also for Peters Company Wealth Management, number 15, who's come into the game and actually has been in for a few minutes, is Colton Bishop, who will be playing at the University of Loyola, Maryland this year. Here's Trey Duncan. Little jab step, steps back and shoots over Brent Peters. Nice shot by Cortez Duncan. Spin move in the open court, up under to Brent Peters, and Brent Peters finishes that play off. There's Madison Jones using his quickness to get to the rim. Probably right now, Jones' best asset is his ability to get to that rim. He's got an excellent first step, great quickness in open court. And we see Evtimov back in, and immediately you see some of that interior passing that Evtimov brings, and his team down by 7 here in the first half. Duncan over to Weckworth. Kicks it in the corner to Seth Courts. Courts' shot hasn't been able to find the range today, at least not yet. Evtimov not able to secure that rebound, but Brent Peters runs it down. Full court pass to Trey Duncan, up. Decided to go against the reverse, gets it over to Weckworth, now up to Overton. Overton up, and that ball is just going to be slapped out. So no foul on the play, but it's going to stay with Blue Chip Basketball Academy. So just under 7 minutes to play here in the first half. First game of the day here on court number 2. They usually have been running about 4 games a day. It kind of depends on who shows up and who shows up on time, to be blunt. Pro-Ams are kind of loose. They're a little bit more, they're kind of a cross between organized rec league ball and elite athletes, and then open run. So it's sort of a hybrid where you have players who have a certain level of experience and ability, being the more elite athletes, but then it's also kind of an open run where guys just are looking to play against high-level competition during the summer months. A lot of pros during July will go out to Vegas for the combines, but if pros who already have contracts or who know where they're going to play aren't really looking, for an agent or something like that, they may be here. Sometimes you've had NBA players come in here to play and get good competition during July when they're, especially veteran players who don't play in the NBA Summer League. And then you've got your college level players like Madison Jones and Cortez Duncan, who takes this shot right here. Those guys are looking to play against high level competition during the summer, especially when they normally won't be practicing. Well, they won't be practicing right now per NCAA regulations. And many of these guys won't be starting school even for a couple of weeks. Even those who went to summer school will have finished and will be taking a break here at this point, or at least within the next week or so. So, they're looking to get competition. They don't want their skills to get rusty. They want to get better over the summer, and one of the best ways to do that is to play against high-level competition. So that's why you see these guys out here, but it's also why you see some of the roster changes and things like that, and that's just the way it is. The idea is to get out here and try to play some high-level basketball, work on some things. Jones over to Duncan. And Duncan up, under, and that ball just dribbles in. A nice little reverse shot by Duncan. We'll be playing at High Point, and Blue Chip Basketball Academy has built a 12-point lead now with just under 5. Here's Brent Peters with a nice step through and up and under, and he scores. Oh, nice deep outside shot there. And right now, Blue Chip Basketball Academy pulling away with a 13-point lead, and Peters Company Wealth Management is going to have to figure out a way to score. Normally, Jackson Kent can add from the outside, but right there he wasn't able to hit, and I believe Evtimov tapped that one in. And right now, not a lot of consistency for Peters Company Wealth Management, other than Evtimov from the scoring and being a facilitator. Evtimov's kind of been their one bright spot here in the first half, but that can change. We'll see what happens here in the second half. They do have some guys who can put up points. And Blue Chip keeping the ball here with 3.5 to play. Over to Duncan. Drives against Brent Peters. Used that jab step effectively that time, but this time Peters is able to cut him off. Waits inside, and just somebody allowed his man to get inside there, and that gives Blue Chip Basketball Academy a very sizable lead at this point. And now a steal in the open court by Madison Jones in the step through, and not able to finish, but I believe they're going to call the foul. They're going to call a push, and that's going to go back over to Peters Company Wealth Management. So a break for them. 2:34 left to play. Jackson Kent driving up over the top, draws the foul, and that will send him to the line, but we're not under that 2 minutes yet, so still not at the point where the clock will stop, but that will, well, they're going to stop the clock momentarily. It looks like we lost the clock for a moment there, but that's unfortunate. But as we get down to the 2-minute warning, it should stop. And I'm going to gesture to someone. I believe we've lost our clock feed. We've got it back now. Okay. My apologies. It looks like we had dropped a clock feed there for a second. 3-point shot outside is good. 44-31. Ball knocked away inside, and right now Peters Company Wealth Management's having a lot of trouble getting their offense going, and I wouldn't say everything is clicking for Blue Chip Basketball Academy, but they're definitely more cohesive on the scoring end, and their defense is a little bit more cohesive as well. Their spacing is better on offense here. Up and score. And that's Madison Jones using his quickness to get in the lane and off the back of the rim. He's inside to Evtimov. Evtimov spins away gives it up to Zach Johnson. Johnson couldn't handle it, but then as everyone dove to get on the loose ball, he was able to find himself inside. Wasn't able to capitalize, and here's Jones again using that quickness. Oh, I'm sorry, not Jones. It was Bobby Scriven earlier. I did not realize he had come into the game. We've got a timeout on the floor here with 32.4 seconds left to go. Oh, I'm sorry, not a timeout, a stoppage in play. Up, under, and that is a block call, and that will stop the clock. And I apologize earlier. I said that it was a stoppage, and I was trying to scramble and find out Bobby Scriven's number, and I looked away for a second. But we're all square here, 48-31. And now the clock stopped. Peters Company Wealth Management with a chance to cut into that lead a little bit here with just over 20 seconds left. And they need these points. But they've got a whole second half to play, and they can come back. These guys know how to play together. They're very experienced. See what they can come up with. Second shot, no good, and I'm sure that Madison Jones, who's walking the ball up here, is looking to just have one possession here, one shot, looking for the best shot. Seth Courts thought about a three. He drives, shoots from the mid-range, and he drains that. The 2015 graduating player from Carnegie Mellon, and now a deep shot by Vasilev Tomov, and that's it. So that's going to wrap up the first half. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. You're watching the 2014 Triad Pro-Am Summer League.